Hey guys, it's Chris from SurviveNnThrive. Today I'm going to be going over a clove hitch. It's a very basic knot. It's something you'll need to know to learn lashing. I think it's like 98% of all lashings start with a clove hitch. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to tie the clove hitch today. Make sure you know this before you move on to lashing, as I just explained. It's a very basic knot. You can use it to attach a rope to an object. I'm going to be using this tree. And it's a self-tightening knot, so when you pull on it, it's going to get tighter. And it's just a good way to fasten rope to something before you start tying off somewhere else. Or if you have a tag end you just don't want, you can just clove hitch it to the base of a tree once you have your ridge line up, or something like that. So I'm just going to get right into it. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is, I'm just using this rope just to show you the clove hitch. What you're going to do is you're going to go around the tree, just like this. And you're going to take the end you're tying with. You're going to want more. You're going to want a little more than most knots. So if you notice. So what you're going to do is you're going to go around the tree and cross over the top of the rope that's already there. So once you do that, it should kind of fasten to itself. Then, keeping the rope, see how my rope's crossing and you got the other rope on top? Keeping the rope you're tying with, the end you're tying with, keep it under and parallel to the rope that was already there, this piece of rope. And you're going to do that all the way around. Now let me just move this for a second so I can show you the parallel. See how it's parallel? Right here. And this is the rope I'm tying with. It crossed over and then stayed under, coming all the way back around. So now once we've done that, we're going to take our rope here, and once we get back to where we originally crossed, we're going to take our rope and we're going to come under this piece that's hanging or wherever, and we're actually going to come through where we came over the top. So just like that. So it's going to be pinched in between the piece that came over and the piece we had there already. And then we can take our two ends and cinch it down, pinch any of this line going around that's not next to each other together, and then you can just pull it tight and you have your clove hitch. Now it might twist around the tree a little bit. It's a very smooth rope and smooth bark, but this knot will not come undone. It's used to start most lashings. So here's where we started. We came around, we crossed over the piece of rope, the other side of the rope, we crossed over, came around and stayed under and parallel to the other, and then we came up under this rope that was hanging. It might not always be hanging, just keep that in notice. We came up and under and through where we crossed over and this piece of rope. So let me just get a better angle. You have, see how this is where we ended? We came through the V it creates. So you should have something like that on both sides. And you'll notice the end over here does the same thing. It has these two pieces, and then this comes through it. So you get the V with the piece coming out in the middle on both sides. Okay, so I'm going to tie that one more time for you. Let me just untie this. To untie it too, you can just take both your ends and pinch them together, and it will loosen up the whole knot. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our rope and we're going to go around the tree or wherever we want to start it, taking one tail end. For this demonstration I'm using my right hand, and I'm coming around the other rope. I'm using the rope, I'm starting with the rope in my right hand and going around to my left and crossing over the top of it. Then I'm pulling it under. See, I'm crossing and going under. And then I'm coming all the way around the tree or the pole, whatever you're tying it to. Coming under this rope. Now here's a part, a lot of people lose the knot. I take my thumb and I pinch the back of the knot. So when I let go of it, it stays. Because what you need to do is you need to actually loosen it a little bit so you get this slack. But if you pinch it with your thumb in the back, the knot won't fall off the object you're trying to tie. So then once it's loosened, take your tail end, come through this cross right here, or under the cross, in between the two pieces of rope. So I'll do that again. So you got your cross over the top, and the rope that was started here and we haven't played with. This rope that you're tying with comes around, and you're going to go under this, just to make it a little easier for you. And then under the cross over the top. And make sure it's in between where the cross comes under here, under the other rope, and this top rope. Then you're just going to pull your rope through. Grab both ends. Pull tight. Pinch any loose rope together. Give it one more yank, and you got a clove hitch. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to tie a shortcut to the clove hitch. This only works if you have access to the end of a pole. If you don't have access to this, like we used the tree earlier, you're not going to be able to get the rope over the top of it to get it tied. So this is the pole I'm going to be using. It's something I cut down a while ago. As you can tell, it's all a little rotted and dirt covered. But first I'm going to show you how to set it up before you put it on the pole. Let me lean that against the tripod. So we have our rope that we're going to be using. So what we want to do is the first thing, just like we started with the sheep shank, we're going to tie a loop crossing like this, taking our left and going to our right. So our rope, see how our tail end crosses over the top? Then once we have that, we're going to do, with our right hand, make a loop the same size, but go behind the rope. So see how one line crosses in front and one crosses in the back. Now that we have these two loops, we're going to take the last loop we made and bring it up over the top of the other one. Now if you notice, your clove hitch is already tied. So now that we have the clove hitch set up, we're going to take our pole and we're just going to put the rope over the top of it and then pull our tail ends and pinch this. And now if you notice, we have the clove hitch tied. You got the two ends coming out through the V's on either side and a cross over the top. Now I'm just going to do that one more time quick for you. You're going to make the loop crossing over with the tail end crossing over the top from left to right, and then you're going to go right to left going behind the rope. So one's over the top, one's underneath. Then you're going to take the last loop you made that's in my right hand and go over the one in your left, and then you're going to have your clove hitch tied. Then you're just going to slide it over the top of the pole and pull tight, and you have your clove hitch. Okay guys, so today I showed you how to tie the clove hitch. I showed you the proper way. Well, there's no real proper way, but the original way to go around if you can't access the ends of the object, and then I showed you a shortcut if you can, like this pole, access the ends. Another thing I forgot to mention with the shortcut, when you do the two loops like this, when you make the loops, the actual first and second loop of the clove hitch, make sure they're big enough to fit the object you want to go over. So see how both these loops fit? So you want to make sure it's that big. So once you have it like this, you don't have to try to readjust it, open it up, because if you start trying to open it up too much, you can pull a tail end through and then you have to restart. So just keep that in mind. If you have any questions regarding the clove hitch, its uses, anything like that, feel free to email me. I'll have an email in the description below that you can get in touch with me. I'll try to respond to you within 24 hours if possible. Other than that, thanks for checking me out, guys, and hope to see you around.